Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am up for my Follow a Sketch Friday series. Now this sketch that I'm using right here is the sketch that was on the Redefined Creative public page on Facebook. I just really liked it. I loved all the florals. Don't know if I'll be doing florals, but there it is. And I'm also going to be using my How to Kill a Kit with Style. So let's see what I can do. First thing I did was cut down my 4x6 photos to 4x5 3/4. That way I could use this card base as my photo mat, and I went ahead and cut those down. Actually, I think I might have cut them down a little bit more than 5 3/4, but there it is. And then I also trimmed a long sheet of this beautiful floral paper right here so that I could match the sketch going down kind of like the right hand side of the page. Now this paper that I had pulled out had 4 6x6 papers, kind of backgrounds on one side of it, and I was flip-flopping between which of the greens I wanted to use. Ultimately I went ahead with this green on green tone hexagons. And I just really like the way that the colors come together for this layout. Now, this might seem a little weird to some of you, but I didn't know how artichokes grew. Like, it just wasn't a thing that I ever thought of. I just figured, like, I don't know, I never even thought, like, was it a tree? Was it a bush? Like, what? Never really thought about it. The only thing I thought about was I like the taste of artichokes, so I ate them. But when we were driving, sure enough, we saw artichoke plants on the side of the road, and I flipped the crap out. Like, I thought it was just the most amazing thing in the world. And Christopher was nice enough to stop so that I could get a good photo of them, which is the close-up photo on the left. The photo on the right is one that I was taking as we were driving by. So I was just completely amazed by it, and it's just something that just brought me great joy. That was one of the highlights of the trip. Not to say that the trip wasn't completely amazing, but this is a moment that will stick out for the rest of my life, was when I found out what artichokes look like when they grow in the wild. We kept saying, look, artichokes in the wild. Like, it was just this whole thing that we didn't even realize we had to have, but we did. So I pull out this fabric doily, and I was just trying to see if there were more than one doily together, because it is a little bit thicker, but that's because it's fabric. So I didn't really have to worry about that. And now I'm just trying to figure out how to make the sketch turn into a page. Now, it did have kind of like this line that did not touch the photo mat. So I grabbed this pink floral washi tape, and I am putting it on top of the brown cardstock. It's the same color brown cardstock that I matted my photos on. And normally I would put this on a white piece of cardstock if I wanted it to be bright and you could see like the true color. However, I do have it on the brown, and that is just because I kind of want it to be muted. I am working on a cream background because my colors are kind of vintagey. They kind of have that sepia tone to them. So I'm going with that. I'm making this work for me, and I like the color that it comes out. It on camera it looks a little bit different than it does in person, but I really like it, and that's what matters, right? Right. So I'm flipping through my stickers. I'm trying to figure out what I am going to use as a title, and I'm just not sure yet. I'm just not sure. There's a lot of butterflies on these stickers. And I don't know if I cut it out or not, but while I'm going through these die cuts, I toy with the idea of actually putting butterflies on the page. That didn't happen though. Totally didn't happen. I do go through and pick out some tags. This isn't part of the sketch whatsoever, but I like it, so I add it. Now remember, a sketch, you do not have to follow the sketch completely. Like, if you are using a sketch, you can do it as a starting off point. You could do it completely exactly like the sketch, or you could just kind of do a hybrid. And that's basically what I'm doing here. I'm basically following the sketch, but there's some things I want to add and some things I want to change, so I'm just going to do it and go with it. Maybe I should change the name of this series to Almost Follow a Sketch Friday. And heck, today it should be Follow a Sketch Friday on Saturday, because this video did not make it up on Friday. It's making it up on Saturday. And that is because I worked like a beast on Friday and was too tired when I came at home at night to actually put the video up. And yeah, so that's why it's Follow a Sketch Friday on Saturday. And that's just the way it is sometimes, guys. It's just the way it is. Life gets in the way. I am so trying to make sure that I have a video go up on my channel every single day. I've been doing that since February 1st when I did my Follow a Sketch February, and I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to try to keep going as long as possible. My friend Christina said, I bet you could do it for a year. And I'm trying. So yeah, there it is. So I'm messing around with these tags because I had them placed and then I was like, how exactly did I have them placed? And then I'm trying to like nestle things, and you know how I love to nestle things. So I'm trying to nestle the little kind of label thing in between the two tags, and then, make sure the leaves are all right. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, seriously, you're freaking out over this little detail on the page. You don't need to worry about it. So I just put it down and I'm like, yep, okay, looks good enough for me. I'm going to press it down because that means that I am happy with it and that's where it's going. I toy with the idea of these little kind of burlap flowers because they had the same like feel and color feel to them, but they just didn't go with the actual page. Now these I pull out, these are my Love from Lizzie peel-offs, and if you have never seen them, they are just like the best little long thin stickers in the world. She has a couple different versions. She has these pinstripe ones. She also has the wavy ones, which are kind of like a rickrack. And there's another one that's, the name of it is escaping me. But they're really awesome. They are mostly used for cards, but as you guys know, or you might not know, I subscribe to 2 card kits. One is the Brutus Monroe Inspiration Box, and one is the Love from Lizzie card kit. And I make cards with neither one of them. I scrapbook with them because I love the product so much. And, they go great in my scrapbooks. Now, these cork stickers, I was thinking about bringing in that ampersand because it had the kind of like bright green tone, but I wasn't completely happy with it. Now I kept this flower pot sticker down here because it does have the same kind of green floral thing as the tag up there. So I was just going for some continuity. I pull out my Jen Hadfield washi book, and I'm just looking for one because I really feel like this one kind of washi strip that I have down here where I use the pink washi over the dark brown background, I feel like it needs a little bit more. Like for right now, I just feel like it's kind of just laying there. It's just sitting there. It doesn't really have a purpose. There's nothing really tying it to the rest of the page. It's just kind of like plopped on top. So I added another washi strip just to give it a little bit more continuity and to try to make it feel like it actually belonged on the page instead of just this random little thing. So I ultimately decide to tuck it underneath of the pink strip, and for some reason, the 2 strips of washi there make much more sense to me in my head than the 1 strip. Like I said, it just really feels like it should be there now instead of me just slapping a strip of washi down for the fun of it. Now, I had toyed with the idea of using that Let's Go thickers. Something about Let's Go See the Artichokes or something similar to that. And I'm just looking because I'm really not that, I'm struggling with coming up with a title. I just really don't know what to call this. Usually titles, aren't a struggle for me. And I'm not saying that my titles are amazing because I have a lot of very generic titles. I have a lot of titles that are hello whatever. Or fun or adventure or something like sock adventure, Mickey sock fun, like that kind of stuff over and over again. And I don't really worry about it because it doesn't matter to me in the long run.
But I did decide to go ahead and add this coppery little viney thing, and then I thought, you know what, it would be cute if Artichokes was underneath of that. So I go ahead and place those down. Fun fact, I do not have any more eyes in this sticker set, which is weird for me because I feel like it's way weird that I ran out of eyes before I ran out of A's and E's. I'm like, what in the world kind of title was I making that I ran out of eyes before I ran out of the E's and the A's? I don't know. I don't even know. So I'm just getting these, and I love these thickers. They are kind of like a mint green, and they have a very subtle newsprint, and then they have an even subtler like glitter over the top of them. So they have ever so slight amount of sparkle and shine, but they're not like in-your-face glitter thickers, which is not really what I wanted for this layout. I do have some sparkle and shine because I do have the coppery metallics, but I really didn't need something that was like stupid sparkly. So I went ahead and grabbed another letter and cut off the little nub so that I could have an eye. And then I was going to say Artichokes Grow here, but ultimately I just leave the title as Artichokes Grow. Again, it's not like the best title in the world. It's not something super clever or witty, but it works and it gets across the feeling that I have about artichokes in the wild. I should have named it Artichokes in the Wild. What the heck? Oh well, it's okay. It's Artichokes Grow, and that's the way it's going to be. So I pull out the die cuts and see, look at me, I'm toying with the idea of butterflies, guys. This is progress. Nobody told me how to put a butterfly on this page, and I toy with the idea. But ultimately, I'm like, no. I was trying to get 2 plants on there, but none of them felt right. So I just go back to this one, and I guess it's because this one kind of looks more like an artichoke, like a splayed open artichoke than any of the other ones. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I just felt like that one fit better than any of the other ones. Now this is the bottom of that tag. I just cut off that green color and I layered it up here because why not? Plus I brought down some more of that dark green color from the top to the bottom. I do grab some cocoa vanilla enamel shapes, and these are little teal hearts, and I just sprinkle them around the page, just trying to like figure out where I want them to go. It does add a little bit of brightness, so this is a very, like I said, vintagey feel layout because there's not a lot of white. But I feel like these bright teal things just amp up the brightness just a little bit. And plus they match pretty good to my pinstriping across the top. So I'm happy with that, but I'm thinking I need to add a little bit more. I'm thinking I want it to bring in this green fringe, and I think I like it right here, but after I take the time to add some adhesive to it and put it onto the page, ultimately I decide I don't like it there whatsoever and it's got to come off. Now in the sketch there is like a torn off notebook piece over here to the side, and I guess that's why I was figuring I needed to add this little fringe over here. But guys, I just wasn't happy with it. It just didn't do it for me. It felt like it was too much of that little bit of brightness that I put on with the hearts. Like it just felt like, I was like, no. And I was trying to tone it down by adding a little journaling block so I could put my journaling on it. But ultimately I was like, nope, it's not going to work here. So the good thing about ATG is if you get it off quick enough, you can just rub that goo right on off. And then I grabbed my adhesive eraser and just got off the last little bits. And as you can tell, I was really concerned about that sucker because I just slung it off to the side. It's amazing because when I'm doing these voiceovers and I'm watching myself scrapbook, I cannot believe the amount of things I sling around. Like, I always think that I take really good care of my stuff. Like, I know I put stuff on the ground, and I know that there's things that, like, sit out for a while and all, but, you know, I thought I treated myself with more care, but I sling stuff around all the time. It's kind of crazy. Are you a slinger? You might not even know if you're a slinger until you watch yourself. And that's the way I am. Who knew I was a slinger until I watched myself? So I have this old baker's twine from Jelly Bean Soup, and I say old meaning like I've had it for a few years. It's been around a while. One is kind of cream and green, and one is cream and yellow, and I make bows out of each color and just use my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive to add the twine where the tag holes are. I did not make you watch me go ahead and adhere every single letter down. The only thing I did was add more glue to them because you and I both know that thickers don't stick. They are the most unsticky thing in the world. Actually, pretty much all of American Crafts stickers lately have not been working for me. They just don't stick, and it's a pain in my butt. I mean, seriously, it's a pain in my butt. Flat stickers, puffy stickers, it doesn't matter. Like, I just feel like the adhesive is a failure right now. So I do add my journaling with my Muji black pen in .38. These are my favorite pens. I actually went to a Muji store a couple of towns over and bought a bunch of them because I love them so much. They're just great pens. And I talk about how we got to see artichokes in the wild, and Christopher pulled over so that I could get great pictures, and how I kept talking about how I finally saw artichokes in the wild. So there it is, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys again real soon for another video.